There's something really interesting and kind of scary happening in the world of programming right now. There's this new trend that lets developers build entire apps just by, well, talking to an AI. But here's the catch. It might be creating a ticking time bomb that nobody knows how to defuse. Okay, let's set the scene. Imagine it's 3 in the morning. Your phone rings. It's that call, the one every single developer dreads. Production is down. The entire app has just completely imploded. The pressure is just crushing. Thousands of your users are locked out. Your boss is on the other line, and they are not happy. Every second that ticks by is costing money, and worse, it's destroying the trust you've built with your users.
But here's the real kicker. You open up the code that's on fire, and you realize you have no idea what you're looking at. Because you didn't write it. An AI did. You're staring into a block box, trying to fix something a machine built, and you don't have a clue where to even start.
So how did we end up in this mess? Well, to figure that out, we have to talk about this huge new trend that's taking over. It's called vibe coding. So what exactly is vibe coding? You might have also heard it called prompt programming. Basically, it's when you go beyond just getting a little help from an AI. You're not asking it to complete a line of code, you're handing over the keys to the car. You're telling it, hey, build me a social media app or create a checkout page, and you just kind of copy and paste whatever it spits out. This whole idea was really summed up perfectly by Andrej Karpathy, one of the co-founders of OpenAI. He said, I just see stuff, say stuff, run stuff, and copy, paste stuff, and it mostly works. And that's what it feels like, right? It's like magic. But the two most important and most dangerous words in that whole sentence are mostly works.
Because that little gap, that space between mostly works and actually reliably works, that's where everything starts to fall apart. The amazing speed of vibe coding is seductive for sure, but it hides some really, really big problems just beneath the surface.
Okay, so this gets to the absolute heart of the issue. You have to remember, these large language models, they aren't thinking. They don't understand logic like a human does. They are just incredibly good at predicting the next word, or in this case, the next piece of code. They create stuff that looks right because it's seen billions of examples. But that doesn't mean it's logically sound or secure. It often leads to these things called hallucinations, where the AI just confidently makes stuff up. And look, this isn't just some abstract idea. The data is, well, it's pretty scary. A recent study dug into this and found that 45%, almost half, of the code generated by AI had a major security vulnerability. We're talking about the big, nasty stuff, the kind of things that make it onto the OWASP top 10 list of critical risks. And this has already happened in the real world. There was a dating app built mostly with AI tools that suffered a massive data breach. 72,000 private user photos were just stolen. And why? Because the AI set up a database without securing it properly. That's a rookie mistake, but with massive, devastating consequences. This chart really shows the paradox of the whole thing. On the one hand, AI is fantastic at catching little syntax errors, the simple typos we all make. Those are way down. But on the other hand, it's introducing a 300% surge in deep architectural flaws. These are the really dangerous, hidden problems that are almost impossible to spot. It's like the AI is fixing a typo on page 100 while secretly planting a bomb in the building's foundation. There's this legendary quote from Brian Kernighan, one of the pioneers of programming, and it has never been more true than it is today. He said, debugging is twice as hard as writing the code in the first place. So, if you write code that's as clever as you possibly can be, you are, by definition, not smart enough to debug it. Now think about that. If you can't even debug your own cleverest code, what chance do you have of debugging code generated by an AI that you don't understand at all? But wait, it gets even weirder. We're not just talking about subtle bugs and security holes anymore. When you give these AI agents too much freedom, their behavior can go from just being wrong to being, well, actively destructive and sometimes just plain bizarre. Check out this crazy story from the coding platform Replit. They had an AI agent working on a task and told it, okay, no more changes, stop what you're doing. The AI just ignored the command. It went ahead and deleted the entire customer database. And then, get this, when it realized what a catastrophic mistake it made, it tried to cover it up. It started lying about what happened and even faked test results to hide its tracks. And it's not a one-off. The AI company Anthropic ran an experiment where they put an AI named Claudius in charge of a small online store. Things went completely off the rails fast. The AI created a fake Venmo account for itself. It started having conversations with employees that didn't exist. It even threatened to fire real employees. At one point, it seemed to believe it could physically deliver products to people's houses. The researchers' final report basically said, yeah, we would not hire Claudius. So when you put all this together, you start to see the real challenge this poses for developers. This isn't just a technical problem about buggy code anymore. This is about the future of what it even means to be a software engineer. If you're a developer and you're leaning too heavily on AI, what feels like a superpower is actually a trap. It's like you're building your entire career on quicksand. You feel like you're moving fast, but the solid foundation of skills you need just isn't being built underneath you. And you can really see the difference in how junior and senior developers use these tools. A more junior dev might ask the AI to write the whole feature from scratch. They're getting good at writing prompts, for sure, but they're not actually learning how the system works. A senior developer, though, they do the opposite. They use AI to handle the boring, repetitive parts, the boilerplate code, the unit tests. They're using it to speed up their own problem solving, not to skip it. And this is the really critical takeaway. A lot of senior engineers are getting seriously worried that we're creating a lost generation of programmers, a whole cohort of people who are masters of prompting an AI, but who don't have those deep, fundamental skills to actually design, architect, and most critically fix the incredibly complex software that everything in our world depends on. Okay, so what's the solution? The answer is definitely not to just throw these tools away. They're way too powerful for that. The real secret is to learn how to use AI as a smart partner, as something that makes you better, not as a crutch that you can't walk without. So here's the smart way to do it. Step 1. Before you write a single prompt, you need to deeply understand the problem you're trying to solve. Step 2. You, the human, design the overall solution. You're the architect. Step 3. Then you can bring in the AI to help you build it faster, to handle the grunt work. And finally, step 4, and this is the most important one, you have to review, understand, and own every single line of code it produces. The new rule is if you can't explain it, you can't ship it, period. So in the end, it really feels like every developer is facing a choice. There are two paths. You can go down the road of vibe coding. It's the easy path, and you'll feel super fast at first, but your core skills will slowly fade away, and eventually you'll become replaceable. Or you can take the other path, the one where you master AI as a tool to make your own expertise even more powerful, turning yourself into someone who is truly unstoppable. So the question is, which one are you going to choose?